What's good, y'all, man? Time to react to Georgia Tech taking on Louisville. Louisville comes out on top 31-19. In a game where you can make the argument that Tech showed they potentially had the better team. I know y'all gonna come from me crazy in the comments. I know they lost, but I'm gonna signify two key parts that really hurt them in this game. And obviously, I got the five key takeaways that I'm gonna have that comes out a little bit later. I know Coach Key might get under fire a little bit, but I thought he did a good job with some of his decision making in this game. I know some people are like, why did he go forward so much on fourth down? Why not take the points? We're gonna talk about all that and get into the nitty gritty. All right, so first off, we'll talk about Haynes King. Another pretty good game, 21-32, 312 yards. King did have that fumble or that turnover, that backwards pass, man, that was really crucial early in the game. They had a 7-0 lead, and that situation just better to go down, not even throw that. But I would say from this year, you don't see King making them kind of plays a lot, right? Like when you look at the statistics, he don't really make a lot of mistakes. Was that a bonehead play? Sure. But going forward, I think you feel good with King. I mean, he came back and threw a strike down the field, that next possession, and he was good to go. You know what I'm saying? So I don't blame King necessarily fully for the loss. Did they play a part in it? Sure. But at the same time, man, that was a bad play, and they have a factor a little bit in this one. And the other issue is when they play the ACC opponents, the second consecutive time, first against Syracuse, King is the leading rusher again. These numbers is not going to cut it. Jamal Haynes, 12 rushes, 25 yards. Traylon Maddox, 8 for 14. He showed some good things today, but I think a lot of this is not a lot of rush lanes. Defenses know, and they want to take that away, right? That rushing game allows Georgia Tech to be explosive. Did they still have explosive plays today? Yes, they did. But when they have that rushing attack and you got that safety coming down in that box, it makes it even easier for Eric Singleton. And he's not getting, those double teams, that cloud coverage over to him, or same thing with Malik Rutherford. So I think offensive line has to be better, in my opinion, in creating holes and gaps for these running backs to run through, because there was not a lot of gaps in that game. So I think that's where it comes from as well. That part has been struggling against these ACC opponents. All right, next I want to give a shout out to Dynamic Duo. I'm going to hit on them obviously in my article on SI that's going to come out here pretty soon. But Malik Rutherford, Eric Singleton, they have been doing their thing this year, man. They're starting to get hot at the right time. They're going to have a bye week coming up, but 7 catches, 113 yards. Singleton, 5 catches, 88 yards. They did their thing today, man, and they made big play after big play. One of the best plays I've seen was Eric Singleton. Right before the half, they're trailing. They need a score, down 17-7, and he gets a 51-yard catch right over the middle of the field. Double team coverage, didn't matter. Outruns the defense and gets them right into the red zone at the 3-yard line. So obviously, shout out to them, man. And for what they were able to do in this game, they were spectacular. More defenses are going to put more coverage to them, so it's going to be important for these tight ends, Jackson Halls, Avery Boyd, Chase Lane to come up big and make big time catches. Now, this is where they really struggled. They were 4 for 15 on third down. Now, obviously, compared, Louisville wasn't too good on third down either. They were 2 for 9, right? So third down, definitely efficiency has to be better. I thought overall it was a decently called game, but I thought they ran Haynes King too much, right? To a degree. I think he had 14 runs. Like that QB power was working first half. I thought Louisville adjusted well second half to make that run even tougher, and they were not able to get a lot from it. They were taking away those rush lanes. Like in those situations, you might have to bring in a Zach Pyron just to give a defense a different look. I thought the creativity in some of the situations were good, but I felt like second half Louisville had an answer for it. So sometimes you got to dial in something different. But that's the reason why Coach Key was so aggressive, right? 4 for 15 on third down, and if you look at special teams today, Aiden Burr was 1 for 3. Right, and the key was that blocked field goal for a touchdown, right, by number 20 of Louisville. That was critical in this game because it's only down 24-19. They're trying to kick the field goal. You go down 3 with less than 7 minutes left. That was a crucial game changer. It put up Louisville 31-19, 12-point lead, making it even tougher for Georgia Tech to come back in this game. So that was crucial. And the special teams was not so special today. Yes, they had a blocked field goal as well, but for the most part, it struggled. And we have to talk about Aiden Burr. He has struggled this season. Yes, he hit the game winner, obviously against Florida State, but then he missed the early field goal. Hit a 26-yarder, I think, but missed the early field goal in the game that would have cut the deficit. He's been struggling this season, and we got to be 100% honest. He has. So they got to clean that up and figure that part out. And then looking more at the statistics, and when you break it all down, look at all this. Time of possession, 50 to 28, right? When you look at the pass in this game, or the total yards, 410 yards to just 326. So, like I said, to me, besides the turnover, besides the special teams block, Georgia Tech's in this game. This defense, now, they did get hit up, and I'm going to show that a little bit. They only give up 17 points. That's 2 touchdowns taken away. Defense only gave up 17 points. So without those turnovers, you win this game. Now, like I said, Ja'Cory Brooks, right, he had a pretty good game. 4 catches, 125 yards. He had that deep ball where he got interfered with by Amari Harvey. Still came down with the football. Hey, sometimes you're going to have situations like that. And then Chris Bell cooked in the first half. They were killing him on that shallow cross. They fixed it in the second half, but he was just going straight across, right? And Shaw was able to throw it right to him, and he was gaining big yak yards afterwards. He averaged 41 yards a catch. So that was critical in this game. But I do want to shout out the defense in this part. They really did shut down that run game. 27 carries for 57 yards. They run a good running back system. Donald Chaney, Kewan Brown, Duke Watson. They get everybody fresh. These guys struggle with their yards per average. You look at Isaac Brown, 2.3. Look at Duke Watson, 2 yards per carry. Donald Chaney, look at 2.3 yards per carry. Kewan, 2 yards. All those are running backs. Shaw is the quarterback. So I thought defensively they had a pretty good game plan against the run. Right now, I struggled a little bit, obviously, with that. And that comes from, I thought for the most part, Tech ran and had really good coverage for the most part, right? Besides a couple of those big plays and obviously those buses they had over the middle of the field with the shallow crosses and then the deep ball. The problem was they weren't getting pressure. Like, they was making them hold the ball and it was like making them get off his spot, but they couldn't get home. Like, if you have an elite pass rusher, that makes it even tough. That is what Georgia Tech is really missing, an elite pass rusher. Romello Height, all those guys are good. Zeke Biggers, Robinson, Josh Robinson, good to decent players, but they don't have that elite guy that can change the game for you and get that major play that sets it off. So I do want to commend the defense, though, for what they were able to do here. So, yeah, y'all, that is my thoughts. The good thing for Tech, they do have a bye week coming up. Much deserved. They've already played 5 games so far this year. So, they're probably not going to get ranked again. But you could take a lot from this game. You could say that, we outgained them. If we take away those 2 turnovers, we're right in this game. We potentially could even win. And I thought second half, they did good. They were more aggressive. The offense looked good, but you only got 3 points. So, that kind of makes a difference. Obviously, you had the safety as well. So, pretty much 5 points total. If you could have got more points in the second half, you feel pretty good. And despite some of the big plays, defense did only limit them to 17 points. So, you can't ask for too much more, man. But, yeah, far as real quick, I'm going to get my take on the ACC. I definitely give it to Clemson, and I give it to Miami right now. I don't think Louisville is all that elite. I think they were fortunate today that other parts of their team stepped up. No disrespect to them. Obviously, Shaw had a good game. Ja'Cory Brooks, we talked about that. But I don't think they are going to beat an elite Miami or Clemson, where they got to go to Clemson. They got to play Miami, Notre Dame. I just don't see it. In this game, I thought Georgia Tech really had it besides those turnovers. So I don't think Louisville is as good as people think. And I think it's going to show its head. And I think it's a battle between those two. Now, for Tech, in the grand scheme of things, got 2 ACC losses, so that is tough. Now you're going to probably have to win out to even have a chance, and you're going to have some things work for you. You're going to need an upset. You're going to need somebody to beat Miami, which you have a chance to do so at home. Nobody's going to take you to win that game, but you got to have an electric atmosphere, and you got to pull off a dub. Probably going to be a primetime matchup. You do have a chance there, and then you're going to need a couple people to knock off Clemson. And then you're going to have to beat some of these ranked teams when you play a Notre Dame, like I just said, a Miami. So the season is not a wash. You do have 2 losses, but you can always rebound. At this point, you can't probably take no more L's. You got to win out. But you have enough of a tough schedule in order to say, hey, okay, we took our lumps, we lost these games, but here's the strength of schedule, here's the teams we beat. So, you're going to have to go in there and beat a Georgia, right? You're going to have to beat a Notre Dame. You're going to have to beat a Miami. But I thought overall, man, they showed some good things. Going to have to work some things out. But that's my thoughts, man. They're going to learn from it. They'll get better. And I know a lot of people are going to question Coach Key. But remember, like I said with Coach Key, he didn't really have a choice. That 4th and goal he went for, I thought was very, very good. He believed in his guys. He shows how much trust he have in them. Hey, in that situation, you have to. Your kicker is struggling, and he showed the ability not to cash in those points. So you got to do what you got to do. And that was crucial. That gave him good momentum. Defense gets a stop. You got the ball in the second half. You got to go up there and score. Right, 17-14, you got to get a touchdown on that series and go ahead. That changes the momentum, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really fault Coach Key. I thought Coach Key did what he had to do, barring the circumstances, man. And I know those players love what he was able to do tonight and believing in them in those situations, man. So we'll see how the rest of the season turns out. But that's my reaction, man. Comment down below what I thought about Louisville and Tech.